Sheffield OC Bottle Shop, and welcome to the OC Bottle Shop Show. Today I have a guest here, Paul Holmes. He is the founder of the Black Bourbon Run. And today we're going to be talking about just business. We're going to talk about careers. We've already had a discussion with Redwood and we went through that. But now, as you know, on my show, we talk about topics that, maybe people don't talk about every day. But I use my show, my store, as a platform to talk about stuff that might be a little uncomfortable, or you might learn a little something new. And today, we're going to learn a little bit more about what Paul does for a living. My man right here went to Purdue, got his...
Roller up.
There it is. There it is. There it is. What's... Okay, let me finish. Purdue, he got his undergrad in mechanical engineering, and you also got your master's in...
SMU in engineering management.
Oh, man, look at that.
Yep.
Balling. Hey, the money's sitting to my left. So, yeah. You know when you do that, it's long. The money's long. No, but real. Us both obviously being brothers, man, and him being in STEM, and excelling in engineering is dope, man. Not a lot of us are doing that. And so I want to just spend about the next 5 or 7 minutes just kind of learn about his journey of how he became an engineer, and maybe some of the things that, some of the roadblocks, the opportunities, and maybe even some of the things like some of the pressures of having to do well, of being one of the few Black people in his profession, that even if something doesn't go right, are they going to say because he's incompetent?
Yeah.
Those are things as Black people in corporate America that we feel like we just got to be on, right? And so I'm not an engineer, so I want to know from him just his perspective and his journey, and we're going to go from there. So Paul, man, if you can, obviously high school, I'm pretty sure you were, pretty sharp in math and took care of your grades in high school.
Yeah.
But what made you say, I want to be an engineer?
It's kind of funny. In high school, took a couple tours at some colleges and went to Purdue, and they had like a little high school program where they bring people who are like juniors and seniors. And they had a panel of engineering students that were graduating. And I got a chance to talk to them afterwards, right? And tell them like, hey, so you're getting ready to graduate. What jobs do you have lined up? What offers do you have? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, I'm going to Apple or I'm going to Microsoft. And I was like, man, I've never thought that I could do something like that, right? And you ask them about their salary, and I'm like, oh, sign me up. 60, 70K starting out of college?
Yeah.
Like,
put things in perspective, some people come out of college making like 30, 40.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, like, for me, it was like, if that's what engineering gives me, sign me up, right? And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was one of those things where, like, I'm one of the few people in my family to go to college at that time. And I didn't have the expectation of what engineering was going to be, or someone didn't tell me what engineering was going to be. So I just dove into it, struggled a little bit, but, with being at Purdue, they have a huge minority engineering program. They really helped me get through. And then from there, some people who were able to give me some chances. I started working into an aerospace company outside of a little bit outside of LA and Palmdale area, right after college. Got into that. And
so hold on. So wait. So you got your undergrad degree.
Yeah.
And right out the gates, you worked for one of the top aerospace companies.
Yeah.
Man. Okay. Go ahead.
So it was an eye-opening experience. I'm from Ohio. Always kind of been in the Midwest. So an opportunity to come out to California was real dope. And for me, being in aerospace, working on military aircrafts and stuff like that, it was a new experience to me. My father was in the military; he was in the Army, but it was one of those things where I didn't really understand, or I would say I didn't have a high level of, I guess, respect. I don't know if that's the right word, but I didn't really understand the culture of military and the veterans and what they go through. Being able to work on something where people that I'm working with are, military veterans, and they're telling me their stories. They're telling me how much this aircraft means to them, and all that type of stuff. Like it gave me a newfound respect for those people, and it gave me like a bigger self. Like this thing was bigger than just me having a job and getting paid. I'm really working towards like the freedoms and some of the security that we have in this country.
And you know what? And that's important that you said that, because sometimes if we're not exposed or we just don't have that awareness, in this case with the military, right? We may be either aloof or just may not show that appreciation. And they may come off as that we don't care about, in this case, say the military, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of like, you take that example and then you take that with people who just don't understand a certain culture, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have a certain perception until they're kind of involved in it, right? They meet
Yeah.
that one person that really
Absolutely.
takes that time and share that experience with them, and that's kind of what your job in aerospace did
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah.
with military, right? So, with that being said, with you being in the field that you're in, and very few black people that are in it, right? Do you ever get the sense that you're like, man, did they just hire me because I'm black?
So, I didn't have that at first because I think with Purdue,
You said you did or didn't?
I didn't.
Okay.
At first I didn't. I came in there, in the area that I was at, there was a lot more black folks than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
That shifted when I went to another facility in Texas, and I actually had a guy come up and tell me it was like he thought that I got the opportunity to come out here and be an engineer because of affirmative action.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone to have that mindset already without even knowing me, where I came from, it was kind of like a slap in the face, really. Like, I've been working for 3 or 4 years already, in my industry. Got a degree at Purdue, right? I'm getting my master's in engineering. And for someone to say, oh, you're where you're at because of affirmative action, like, it kind of just downplays all the hard work that you put in.
It does. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves of people who make comments like that.
Yeah.
Because let's backtrack now to Paul when he's like 16. Let's say he wasn't, that doing well in school. He wasn't considering going to college.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to say, well, you know what, he's a fuck up. He should go to college.
Yeah.
So he goes to college, right? And then he gets into college and they say, you know what, he got into Purdue because of affirmative action. He met the quota, right? Because he got a good SAT score for a black person, right?
Yeah.
So then he gets a job, right? And then he's working his ass off and he's doing what he needs to do and he's succeeding beyond just from in his peer group, period, white or black.
Yeah.
And then they say, it's affirmative action. So it's almost like you damned if you do if you don't, right?
Yeah.
And for me, that's what I struggled with in corporate America, right? It's just like, well, shit, dude, like, if I wasn't in college and I wasn't there, you'd be upset that I was like gangbanging or something like that. And then now I'm here, and you're like, well, shit, well, you're here because there's numbers that need to be met, And so that's still what I struggle with today. But before I would like almost placate to that and kind of play that role.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but I really did, right? I was like, okay, as a black person, how you kind of have to be in corporate America, right? You know how you have to move and shake, right? You're always being watched in certain ways. And I mean that not in a way of in a nefarious way, but it's just kind of what it is. It's just what it is.
Yeah. And I think I can put it in different words too, because like now, 8, 9 years into the game, I'm now a manager, and I've been doing that for a couple of years. And we had these like leadership conferences and trainings, and they talk about like what is your mindset when you go make a decision. And in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm already past the level that most people think I'm going to get to in my life anyway. So if I go make a decision, in my mind, I don't have as much burden on it. Like, I'm going to shoot you a decision. Not every decision is going to be correct, but I don't go wait 50 hours or 50 days to go make a decision. It's like, I don't care about the pressure to make a decision now, because in my mind, I'm already higher than what you thought I was going to be at anyway. So forget it.
Hey, he cleans it up, man. He said it more eloquent than I did. But he's right there, because where I got hung up at is like, damn, I don't want to make a mistake because I don't want to be looked at as incompetent. Some of the things that I figured that some of my other people that don't look like us, if they kind of screw up, it's just like just a bad day, or it was just a mistake. And we all should be afforded that, right? We're humans, right? We're flesh. And so that's something that I've struggled with and really kind of like was stressing myself out. And then me tying into the liquor game, I'm the only black person that owns a liquor store in Orange County. I'm the only black person that owns the property. I'm the only black person that has a lottery in the store, maybe that's what I've known for the last several, at least the last year. And I wear that as a badge of honor, because it gives somebody to know, like, hey, look, if he can do it, I can do it. I'm just a regular dude. I didn't come from, I'm not chipped up. I don't have like, a trust fund or anything like that. I bet it on myself, and I put the cards in, and I'm in, And so with that being said, I think if you bet on yourself and you go all in, no matter what the perceptions are, you know what, you're going to win. And I see that in you, and this is a young dude too, and he's already it, man. So I think there's going to be just a bunch of dope stuff that's coming your way, man, bigger and better.
Appreciate that.
And sky's the limit with you, man.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it.
I say in my career, even with the Black Bourbon Run, people always ask me like, how'd you get to this point? Or like, what made you go do this? My terms, you know what? I shoot my shot every single time. You shoot your shot, and if it don't go in the bucket, all right, you shoot again. But if it do go in the bucket, then like now you winning. And I've always done that.
There it
whatever
is.
you do. So
That's right, and it's a mentality, and some people think, unfortunately, I think it's a nature thing. I think you're kind of born that way.
yeah,
Nurture. I'm sorry, it's a nature thing. Yeah, nurture does play a role in it. It kind of
yeah.
forms the person that you are.
yeah,
But kind of have that grit and that get up and go
Yeah.
is something that I think is kind of in you.
yeah.
I'm not saying it can't be learned, but it's going to be a tough if you don't
Yeah.
already have
Yeah.
that. So, listen, man, I appreciate you, man.
Thank
sharing
you for
your-
having me here, man. Appreciate it.
No, and I appreciate you, man. Talking about Redwood and inviting me up to the bourbon group. I'm sorry, the Black Bourbon Rum in
Mhm.
Kentucky.
Yep.
That was the best time that I
That's a
had
blast.
as
That's a
almost as an adult. And I'm 40 years old. So there were 16 of us. Everybody's successful. There was about he brought his engineer friends. There was like 7 of them. There was a nurse practitioner. There was like 5 corporate finance dudes. There was me. Shit, I was probably holding up the end, and shit, it ain't too
No,
shabby
you
on my side. So so seeing that, right, and being
Yeah,
around
that was
just
dope.
like cool brothers that are successful, but again, authentic and true to who they are.
Yeah.
Nobody was like extra corny and just doing dumb stuff.
Yep.
Adam was kind of funny, wasn't he?
Adam, if you're watching
Yeah.
this,
Hey, Adam was funny. Hey, this
Thanks,
dude
Dylan.
had the dopest and funniest jokes, man. Like, I went home and told my wife all the jokes that this
Yeah,
dude was saying,
definitely.
man, that I can't repeat on the show. Hey, he's got to be back every single time, man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, so, but beyond that, again, Adam and everyone else there, man, successful, cool, and want to see everybody shine.
Yep.
You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Like, and that's
Absolutely.
what I like. So,
Yep.
again, man, thank you for coming in, and
No problem. No problem.
yeah, and again, on the OC Bottle Shop Show, that's what we do. We have a real conversation. It's authentic, it's unfiltered, and at the end of the day, whether we agree or disagree, it's all respect. In this case here, we have some commonalities as being successful Black men in corporate America, and we're sharing our experiences and kind of climbing that ladder and still being ourselves. And we're sharing that with you, so you can kind of hear it from us and our voice. And so next time when you see somebody at your workplace, right, you might know what he's going through or what he's doing, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, it all starts with that conversation and respect. So that's the OC Bottle Shop Show. It's one of a kind, baby. You're not getting this anywhere else. Stay tuned for the next show.